Good evening. I'm Jon Meacham, filling in for Charlie Rose. We begin this evening with politics. On Tuesday, the Trump administration announced sweeping plans to deport undocumented immigrants, including those without a criminal background. President Trump also indicated that a revised travel ban would be issued very soon. Monday, Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster was named National Security Advisor, replacing the controversial Michael Flynn. The pick was regarded by many as a stabilizing to an otherwise turbulent administration. And thus far, turbulent seems a more than fair description, given that Trump has exploded so many of the historical norms that have long governed the conduct of the presidency. So the question now is whether we are living in a new normal of chaos, or whether the president and his evolving team have both the capacity and the will to run the country in a way that preserves some sense of order at home and abroad. Joining me now to discuss from Washington is Andrea Mitchell. She is the formidable chief foreign affairs correspondent for NBC News. Here with me in New York is the veteran journalist Mike Barnicle and Michael Duffy, editorial director of Time, Inc. I'm pleased to have them all on this program. Welcome.
Great to be here, John.
So, Andrea, you've done this for a while, as have we all. Has this first month been about what you would have expected? A little worse, a little better, when you were coming out of the surprise of the election and through the transition into the inauguration?
I think it was as expected if you looked at the campaign, at the rhetoric, at the transition. But it is certainly not a traditional first month in office for a president of the United States. That's not to say that there haven't been bumps along the way for others, and certainly the Clinton team in '93 was a very rough transition into the presidency in the first couple of months. But this one has been particularly difficult because, in part, the president's habit of using social media, the tweets in the middle of the night, the tweets early in the morning, contradicting cabinet secretaries, the failure really to even nominate 90% of the confirmable appointees. So you don't have secretaries in key posts. You don't have undersecretaries or assistant secretaries. So you've got a Secretary of State traveling to Mexico really home alone. The lack of staffing at the NSC, which are not for confirmable posts, the departure of Mike Flynn so soon, which many people think is a good sign, but it's also the departure within the first month of your national security advisor. So there's a lot of catching up that they have to do.
Mike, are you seeing, when you talk to people around the country, that this is getting beyond the bubble, getting beyond the mainstream press, the mainstream political class? Do you think that folks in Boston share, I share Andrea's view, I suspect you do too, but do you think folks do?
I think a lot of people are nearly exhausted by what has happened in the course of just a little over a month in this presidency. Obviously, people who voted for Donald Trump are probably somewhat pleased because they regard everything that has happened as something that he had promised would happen, and he's conducting his presidency in that manner. But the level of exhaustion in the country, it's every day is full of a Niagara of surprises or statements that sometimes shock or sometimes offend. And you wonder, at least I wonder, in talking with people, when that level of exhaustion will peak and what happens to the body politic when it does peak.
Right.